All right, so once you get to the OpenVAS home display, you'll realize that you are able to look at an overall dashboard. You have options for scan, assets, resilience, security info, configuration, administration, and just so when you think of OpenVAS, you just think of a vulnerability scanner, but it's quite a bit more than that. You're able to uh, scan, obviously, but look for um, different ways to remediate issues and vulnerabilities that are going to arise when you scan your network. So this is designed pretty much for people who are passionate for cybersecurity, and for those who use Kali Linux. So the best thing that I have found is the ability to actually run scans. So I've done a couple test scans so far, um, just to see based off of my IF config, my INET, and I found that I have a slight medium risk, but it's nothing on my end. It's just it's just what you call it. There's my report. They are just not authentication things, so um, so nothing too crazy. Um, but going back to what it is that this thing is basically a great tool to um, do scans for cybersecurity, but also assess the issues in a way, um, like creating trouble tickets or ways to track the issues and potential ways to correct these issues. So if you were to go into your remediation tickets, I don't really have any tickets available because I don't have any severity risk, but you would be able to create a ticket, give it notes and everything like that, and you would be able to look and see um, a task for you to fix that issue, so that way you can keep track of the issues, the vulnerabilities, and stuff like that. So this tool is basically able to run different scanners and look at configuration errors. And this tool allows you to pretty much collect a bunch of information, um, so your system isn't exploited, because you want to prevent that. With all the options here and ways to do it, they give you actually a really cool layout of your reports and everything like that. One of the really cool things that they do is they actually show you some of the bigger issues that are right, like that have been going on, which is a really cool thing that they offer. And they give you great like descriptions on what's going on. They give you different charts to see like the severity. They give you like time zones when they happen. And this is basically like the whole package of everything where you can see these issues. It's a good scanner, obviously, because that's its main purpose. But the best way for you to kind of figure this out is to kind of dive into it and give it a shot. I will say that if you don't um, know what you're getting into, it is a bit confusing. That is the challenge that I found myself going through. But I found that with some YouTube, with some tweaking, and with just the want to actually dive into this, it's not too scary to kind of mess with it. Um, and I think it's a great program. Especially being an open source program, it's free to use as long as you have the time and the patience to go through the install process, which I did twice, which was kind of interesting. One of the complicated things that I've ran into was issues and kind of just figuring out how I wanted to set my configurations because there's different ways that you can do it. So when creating a new configuration, you're able to kind of name it yourself. So I mean, you could name it like, let's say test two, right? Um, and you wanted to look at a specific IP or something, you would type that in here, and you were able to go through and pick out whichever type of TCP and UDP or however kind of scan you want to do. You can go through different service pings, treat it as if it's a live tracking, stuff like that. Not tracking, a live connection. And you're able to kind of just go through all these extra settings, what ports you want to use, how you want to do it. So that's where I'm saying you need to kind of know what you're doing, how you're going to do it, and YouTube is what helped me with that. I just basically wanted to run my own home scan. So the way I did that was um, I opened the terminal, I typed in if config, and I got my inet address, and I copied that into the target right here, like into the manual, and that's how I was able to scan mine. And then running it's really simple. You would just once you have it, you're gonna see it there, and then you just tap the runs start, and it'll start the scan. For a single IP, it took me 8 minutes to run a scan on mine. So I mean that was pretty cool. And then it's an interesting thing. It is gonna just take time for you to mess with. I did find some really good YouTube videos that helped me go through the install process. I found that if you're installing on a virtual machine, I did run into some hiccups. So what I did is I was able to partition some space on my actual laptop to have my own version of Kali Linux on it, and that worked out well for me. And then to start it, you would go into the sudo su and you would type in gvm start, and then once you wanted to stop it, you would just go back and gvm stop, and then that's how you stop the program. Yeah, I found that it worked out pretty well. I did enjoy using it while going through it, and I hope you find use for it too. There's definitely a good use for this program. Thank you for your time.